nothing good now come easy. Got to stand up for your rights now. There's no kink in life cycle. What is meant to be will be. Every eye will see your light now. Living in a time full of social injustice and iniquity. Every day we fuss and fight now. No powers of man can stop the fulfillment of prophecy. Them a go witness judge and might now. What them a wait so them so peace is not a possibility. War machine is what them like, yo. Starvation killing millions, tell me where's the generosity? Tell me where's the equal rights, yo? Mass political corruption, them call democracy. The working man I feel the bite, yo. Jah alone I praise to Babylon, me not gonna need. This is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up your mind and walk. Yes, this is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up yourself and walk. I now be little high integrity. I'm on a clown in a them system. Who bring the weapon them in a this society? Cause in a this city nobody not make them. See them selling their illusion of a people that's free. But debt is modern enslavement. To divide and conquer is their philosophy. Every natural resource them want take, yeah. Every ancestral bond them want break, yeah. In a Babylon ritual I not partake, yeah. And the most I will never forsake, yeah. Alright, liberate yourself mentally, let go the shackles and chains. Inspire some change, hey. They are in a crucial time, but still we got to maintain, we got to sustain. Hey, Babylon a circle, them pray them a move like vulture. Vampire them blood sucking in a them culture. But I and I now get devoured, so we protect by the almighty power. This is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up your mind and walk. Yes, this is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up yourself and walk.
Yes, good evening. A big shout out to my brother Ziggy Ricardo. A new tune he's got out, Liberation. Apologies, the sound quality there. I only got a copy of it off one of my wee recordings off YouTube. Butchered it, but the it's actually on the website there, the YouTube video. It's on my website, a good brother, Ziggy Ricardo. A wonderful tune. The video is cool as well. Liberation. Liberate your minds. Yes, indeed. Liberate your minds. I'll put a window down here. I'll pull myself away for these rockets all over the place. I've actually found a place that's a bit calm. Would you believe it? But yeah, in the distance the lights are flashing. What is this all about? Guy Fawkes, who is he? These are the questions we're out to answer tonight. And I'll give you my number. If you want to give me a phone now, you can call me on 077 353 56125. For the slower thinking and harder study, I'll give you it again. 077 353 56125. Go ahead, give me a call, give me a text. If you can't afford a call, do a one ring sting, phone that number now, hang up with your number shown, and I'll phone you back. And if you're a zombie who wants to come ahead, then give me a phone call with your number hidden because you're a shite bag and you can't be bothered or asked or clever enough to go and buy a wee £1 SIM card and top it up and then phone me and throw it away. Yes, the amount of SIM cards that I've thrown away it mirrors a Glasgow street that you can go out and see now with all the leaves everywhere. That's how many SIM cards I've thrown down the kludgy. Billions. A billionaire. I'm a penniless billionaire with all the SIM cards I've topped up and wasted talking to Fanjitas on the radio. So yeah, give me a call for a slower study and harder thinking. I'll rattle this number off. Make sure I've got this right number in here. Make sure it's the right one. Not a default. Just taking the back half out. There'll be SIM card in the back. Make sure it's the right one. So 0 7 7 3 5 3 5 6 1 2 5. So come ahead, don't be shy, give it a try.
Hello?
Mark Dingwallet?
Hello?
Yeah, Mark Dingwallet, how you doing? Have you got the title deeds yet? Have you bought the club here? He doesn't want to talk. That's Mark Dingwallet from Swallow. He never wants to talk to me. Yeah, probably go and check out the Swallow site in about 10 minutes. He might post it on there like he usually does. Tommy phoned me and I hung up on him because I'm brave. I'm a brave bachelor. Who apparently people have accused him of being friends with Limbs in the Lock killer William Begg. Is that correct? Anybody get any theory on this? Anybody get any theory on the Guy Fawkes? Hold on, I'm just typing. And I can't. That's it. There we go. Tweeted it. Just tweeting away. As I said, my hostess who used to help me out, my Russian stroke Libyan assistant, did a B1 out to Benghazi when it all went tits up. I've recruited her. It was part of an exchange when the old handover for old McGrahy, when the poor brother get deported back home. It was part of an exchange deal, and I got lumbered with this mad Russian ex Gaddafi's head honcho crew. Karate Kid #1. She was. So she's away back to fight. So I'm left here stuck. So if you want any of your burger chain radio or your slick button pressing, or you want a crackpot like me talking flannel juice and gibberish to the head of the SFA or some other Fangita, or getting told by some clown, some dumb schmuck that I'm due 20 grand for walking into the kludgy, which I duly do, and I'm bumped, and now I'm the head of the creditors list for the next administration down IPOC's ridden arena. Who's I got on the phone here now, right? Here we go. Oh, here, I meant to do this earlier on. Look, you've kept me all back. Oh, your damn tweets. How's he? There we go.
You're through to the President's office in the Scottish Football Association.
Hi, we want to speak to El Presidente. Get El Presidente on here.
You're through to
Ah, come in, shove your head up your chuffs, you dafty. Who's that? Who's that? Mate? Oh, right. No, not got it. He gave it to me, so where would it be? What name would it be under? I've not seen it here. Oh, hold on. I've not even saved this one. Ah, that's a good idea. Hold on. Sorry, Trips, I need to just go into my wee messages here. There we go. Right. Found his message, I just need to scroll down. Sorry, Trips. Here we go. Come on, the Bulgine, pick up. What does it take? Pick up! Oh, right. I'll go back into his message. Who was that other number he gave me there? Tam Cowan, aye, Tam Cowan. Oh, come on, pick up one of these. Yeah, what's that other? What do they fancy to score? Right, these ones will pick up. There's somebody here that's going to pick up now. Right. Trouble is, when you phone somebody up, you should always give it a few minutes to see if they're going to phone you back. You know what I mean? They might be in the old porcelain jug. They might be sitting in the old car's eye. So here is a number. Hold on, I need to get this number down before it starts soon. Right. Is anybody here? Anybody listen to Rangers chat? Anybody get the latest on Rangers chat? Please help me out here. Rangers chat news. Limmy was doing a show on Friday afternoon. Then the Friday evening show, it disappeared. They weren't mentioning him at all. And then on the Saturday, I think it was, or the Sunday, On the Friday night, Saturday, he's not been seen. Does anybody know the gen on it? I don't listen to these crackpots. I just turned it on there to see what they were saying. Oh, hold on. Hey, hello to everybody on the Twitter tonight. And I'm just refreshing the screen here to see what's going down. Oh, continue. Hello? I'm just doing it. Sorry. Let's see, I've just got on the background there. Right, I found this last December. Shout out to Clancy, shout out to Matt Macaulay, Hector, Paddy Kelly, North East, Robert McWilliams, how you doing, brother? Finian McKine, how you doing, brother? Paul Cochran, Charles Delboy Green. Can somebody retweet the thing, mate? The message, tell 10 to tell 10, retweet to retweet to retweet. The crackpots in town, these fans are me phoning back, are they no? 2 calls I made there.
You're through to the patient's office in the Scottish.
It's too late. I thought earlier on when they were doing the turn the crackpots doing they're doing my up my bits right in. Hold on the DJ column there. Who's on it here? West Radio Internet Station. We like to advertise your radio if you want your radio to get more people listening. Dean Wilson, how you doing, brother? On the speaker, on the chat, on the speaker. Hello to everybody joining us tonight. It's a wee bit late to be doing phone calls at 9:30 at night, but we'll put this show out here to find out the truth. We're asking people for the truth of Guy Fawkes Night. Has anybody out there got the truth? Is it right that people are out there firing off rockets? You've got rockets standing there in sub-zero temperature, rubbing their hands at what? A bonfire where they've got an effigy, a little kid-on guy, a little guy called Guy Fawkes from over 407 years ago. So we're going back over 400 years. And a lot of people have said that in the post that I brought earlier on, the reason why I'm doing this show just now was because people were getting the message wrong, what I was trying to say, because I'd only suggested that he was from a Catholic background, and I said shame on anyone going out there. Well, it's each to their own for the way of their entertainment. As I say, for me it never has been a way of entertainment, standing in sub-zero temperatures, looking at a bonfire, getting fumes into your lungs. You don't know what the hell is getting burnt and coming your way. Watching basically sub bombs. They're just bombs flying up in the air. Alright, it looks little pretty colours, but you hear the big explosion, boom, and all the wee colours. What is the fascination with this? I just don't know the fascination at all with fucking fireworks. Please, if somebody, it's just beyond me for anything. Not even for me. Alright, right, we've got two things here that I want to talk about, that I want to explore. The first one being, well, the fireworks at any time. What is the point? I just can't be bothered with it. It's just, and the fact that allow, I mean, okay, you've got one thing where you've got people going to a display to see it at Glasgow Green or whatever, organised displays, but to actually sell these things to the public to fire themselves, I've never ever understood it. Honest to goodness, it's just. But it's each to their own. Like I say, it's a democratic country. But then let's get to the origin of what it's all about. Now, I was getting confused when I said burnt at the stake because I was thinking of his effigy on uh, supposedly, his effigy thrown onto the bonfire. I had in my mind another character from history going even further back, uh, from the Crusades, who was a leader of the Knights Templars, who was burnt at the stake, a guy called Jack de Morley. And that's what I had in my mind. Jack de Morley being burnt at the stake. So apparently, on tonight's night, 407 years ago, Mr. Fox was caught. And then, according to someone who's posted it there, if anybody wants to challenge it or to give us the verbatim truth from the history book that they have read, they can do so just now on 077 353 56125. And tomorrow night, is anybody going to the Mass in St Mary's in the Calton? 125 years exactly. Will you let off fireworks for that tomorrow night? Volunteer Guy Fawkes had the right idea, no doubt. That he's whatever ideas he had back, how we can actually find out or actually time of what his idea was 407 years ago. Yes, well, he went in there and he went in there to blow a place up. Is that something that we should be celebrating? The capture of someone who wanted to do that? Is that something we should be celebrating? What is the part that we're celebrating here or commemorating? This is the point. Is it a celebration or a commemoration? So it's a celebration. So we stand out, freezing your knackers off, watching little fireworks, basically sub-explosives, putting little fluffy fucking lights and display. Boom! Oh, look at that! Standing there like numpties. Oh, look! Boom! Look at the explosion. Oh, bang! Oh, that was amazing. Oh, did you see all it sparkle? Oh, that was lovely. Get a life. Yeah, so the issue of a person who 407 years ago was captured on this day, and we have got the people who are the inheritors of the people that Guy Fawkes was trying to fight against. So they're sitting there in their power, controlling stuff, and we're sitting out spending, wasting money and useless pyrotechnics in the sky that lasts for half a nanosecond and they're gone. Boom, boom. Oh, look at the lights, they're amazing, aren't they? Let's take wee Johnny and watch us and give him hypothermia and pneumonia, and it'll be brilliant, so it will. And the injuries, and the poor wee dogs and all the animals and all the wee pensioners. See that? There's a guy walking with his dog out there now. The dog's got a pair of earmuffs on him, by the way, but a pair of earmuffs. Dog's tuned into me on the radio. I'm listening to the old Tommy here. I'm not listening to these fucking fireworks going off me here. Tune me into the moon with Dr. Dre headbeats here. It's a wee cocker spaniel's got it tuned to the moon. Or is it me? But anyway, these fannies haven't phoned back. I really wanted to talk to that guy. We get liquidated online for the old Skype. On the Skype, I don't know how to put it through onto the old didgeridoo. Oh, here, without further ado, there's got to be somebody out there who's got to answer it. Why did I not take your number? Bear with me. Hold on, bear with me. Run trip for them. Oh, you guys are absolute clowns. Yeah, anybody, any word on what happened to the Limmy fella? What happened to the old Stan switcheroo on the old Twitter? Anybody got info on what happened to Stan? He was always buzzing about and then he just gave it up. Who upset him, brother? Who's the script on that? These guys talk that totally on the old Rangers. You get? Hold on, back in 2 seconds.
Life is a struggle, nothing good now come easy. Got to stand up for your rights now. There's no kink in life cycle, what is meant to be will be. Every eye will see your light now. Living in a time full of social injustice and iniquity. Every day we fuss and fight now. No powers of man can stop the fulfillment of prophecy. Them a go witness judge and might now. What them a wait to them so peace is not a possibility. War machine is what them like, yo. Starvation killing millions, tell me where's the generosity? Tell me where's the equal rights, yo. Mass political corruption, them call democracy. The working man I feel the bite, yo. Jah alone I praise the Babylon, me not gonna need. This is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up your mind and walk. Yes, this is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up yourself and walk. I now be little high integrity. I'm on a clown in a them system. Who bring the weapon them in a this society? Cause in a this city nobody not make them. See them selling their illusion of a people that's free. But depth is modern enslavement. To divide and conquer is their philosophy. Every natural resource them want take, yeah. Every ancestral bond them want break, yeah. In a Babylon ritual I not partake, yeah. And the most I will never forsake, yeah. Alright, liberate yourself mentally, let go the shackles and chains. Inspire some change, hey. They are in a crucial time, but still we got to maintain, we got to sustain. Hey, Babylon a circle, them pray them a move like vulture. Vampire them blood sucking in a them culture. But I and I now get the forward, so we protect by the almighty power. This is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, Liberation of your heart, liberation of your thoughts. Free up your mind and walk. Yes, this is liberation of your mind, liberation of your soul, liberation of your heart, liberation of your.
Oh my goodness, I've just spoke to a brother there and I've just found something out. I've cut the grass and my good brothers in Hail Media on Homeboys. I can't believe it, I've cut the grass. There was no way I wanted to go ever do a show when the good brothers are on doing their show. There's room in the calendar for us all to squeeze in. We should be filling in the calendar, each and every last one of us doing little shows, saying our own bit, taking part in the democratic process and helping to crush the undemocratic Freemasonic banking cabal that sits atop of the Scottish society. Free speech, demand it. You've got the title deeds for your own mouth, use it, get out there and express yourself. If Fangita like myself can do it, so can you. Get in amongst it, set up your own speaker. It's free of charge today, 30 minutes, shouting into a computer like a loon ball, playing a wee tune. It's all easy peasy. It's primary 7 stuff. Get in there and do it and get the message out. That's the bottom line. But I've just, I'll tell you what happened. The reason why I started this show, no intention to do it, but I was just getting, would you call it, yeah, these clowns are just, shut them up, shut them up, shut them up, shut them up. Oh, it's in the background, that tune just is great to me. Yeah, but I hope you can't hear that there. I hope you can't hear that, dear goodness me. Yeah, we better, hold on. There we go, there we go. So I apologise to the homeboys.
Twitter. I'm trying to find out what my Twitter address is. Tommy, did you get my friend on Facebook? Mark Carruthers on Facebook. Yeah, I sure did, sir. I do know that he's on Facebook, so I'm pretty sure that if you ask Jackie or one of them, they'll get you a link to friend this guy via Facebook, and we'll eventually get you the link to his Twitter when he knows the address himself. So, Tommy, I'm a wondering, really have a trouble with it when it comes to this. I understand. I see, he is not really all the Twitter kind of guy. He's not really all the Facebook kind of guy. He's there. He's there. He's hip. He's around it. But he's not. He's more of a RangersChat.com kind of guy. That's that reason alone is his bear of the day. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Tommy.
Congratulations.
All right. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. How you doing there, Tommy?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. How's your mum? Hopefully she's doing quite well now.
Yes, she's doing better. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, cool. Hi, Ian. How you doing, mate?
Oh, me? I'm doing great, honey. Thank you.
How's Lemmy
I don't
doing?
know who he's talking to.
Everybody's doing well. How are you doing? That's a more important question. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, my friend. Very good.
Okay. What did you think about the victory this past Saturday? It's 7-0, wasn't it? Heartwarming.
Yeah, against part timers, 7-0 it was a fair result. I would say so. Yeah.
It's quite energizing for me. Do you have any other points? Or you just call and join us and hang around?
Yeah, just to hang around, do a wee chat with you. Yeah, is that all right? Are you available to chat?
Look, I'm not cutting you off. I know who you is. You know who I is. You listen to the show. Fuck, you're gonna be bear of the month, and we keep it up. I mean, you've inspired us.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't really listen that much, Tommy. But I have to admit, about 3-4 weeks ago, I did walk into an Ibrox boardroom with a wee Rangers hat on my head and shook hands with a Rangers director, and it was a thrilling experience, if I do say so, Tommy. What's it cut me off? What happened? don't want to have a chat. I mean, what was I doing wrong there? What was wrong with that? What was the matter with the chat? I could tune in and listen to what they're saying, but I suppose we could always listen to it in the playback. Right. Let's speak to someone more interesting than mine. Hello, is this the Dalai Lama here?
The Lambo, like, how you doing this, scamp, alright?
The Dalai Lama? Yes, how you doing, scamp face? What's a Hampden Road with yourself tonight? Are you winning? Are you out there firing rockets like a lead balloon? Is that what you're all about? Are you out there celebrating? Are you throwing a penny on the guy tonight?
Not at all, Tommy. It's a cash and carry case on here at the moment, mate.
You better believe it. It's cash and carry. We've been doing to United cash and carry, and I'm fully stocked up. I'm loaded to the Sally Gunnels. Oh, with every kind of. But anyway, tell me, shut me up and tell me what is going down. What's the word in the street tonight from the parrot? Hit me with it in 140 characters or more.
No, I heard. I don't know if you listened to the radio sports sound. They done an extra show. They extended the show for an extra hour to talk about the live press conference reference what was happening in Scotland.
Yes, indeed. They tried to phone the president, but I got there too late. Nobody was there to take my call, but to share with the listeners, in case anybody's out there is not made aware of the news, Craig Levine has been punted onto garden leave, I've heard.
Well, they basically come out and said the live press conference with Campbell Ogilvie at first, and then they had Stuart Regan, who was come on and taking various calls, and for once I think the reporters were realising I've got to earn a bread and butter. It was quite I think because the old Sevco fans aren't SFA friendly now, the gloves were off, and they gave Regan a really rollicking time over the fact that the Craig Levine issue, and the fact that he's going to be, even though he's been sacked from his job, he's getting kept. They're going to keep paying him. They're not giving him a termination thing.
Brilliant,
which would be they probably can't afford Tommy to do a one-off payment.
I know.
So they're going to budget it, but it was very interesting that maybe 7:25. I don't know if it'll make the podcast of the BBC, but certainly they came out and said that when they were talking about the lad who was running the show, I think the Cloud, whatever his name is, he said, what do you reckon about the whole aspect of the people who's put him in charge? You know, gave Levine the job, blah, blah, blah. And they had your old pal George Pete in the studio.
Aye, did they, aye?
It's very, I mean, I know a lot of people, I listen to all sorts of shit, but George Pete basically, I don't know if it was deliberate or maybe just sour grapes. Anything the SFA's done from the Craig Levine appointment, he basically slagged off in the sense, well, they shouldn't have done it like this, they shouldn't have done it like that, I'd have done it differently, it shouldn't have taken 3 weeks. But where I'm going with all this is the fact that at 7:25ish, maybe an hour and a half into, they said to James Traynor said to him, well, what do you reckon about, they said to Traynor, what do you reckon about how it's been run, etc. And he came out and said, well, do you think Reagan's in trouble? And he says, yep, I think Reagan's in a bad position, he's got nothing right really since he's come into the job, blah blah blah. They asked George Pete and he said the same. He said he really did a whole start. I'd done his job for 6 months before he took it. He's not really covered himself in glory. And then the one that really opened the doors up, Tommy, it's probably been it slipped in there, and to me it's one of the most important statements made in this whole fiasco was the fact that trainers came out and said tonight, oh yeah, I think the SFA president, he's in trouble as well because, you know, there's Rangers, there's the EBTs, and there's Hearts. His involvement in all them. And that's the first I've actually heard they 3 words, Rangers, EBTs and Hearts mentioned in the same sentence, mate.
Of course, with Mr. Ogilvie.
So obviously, I mean, the band pots like ourselves knew Campbell's implications in the whole scenario, but your BBC shortbread listeners driving their tractors around the fields getting the strawberries in or whatever the date this time of year sort of thing would be in trouble, mate, you know. But no, I was in other news, more Celtic stuff than that. I was at the game yesterday and there was more police there, mate. The Celtic fans should just start singing Paparazzi by Lady Gaga the amount of times they're getting photographed up in these grounds now.
Well, I don't know if I call it a boycott myself. I've given up, mate. I've gave up completely. Do you know what? I get 2 tickets sent to me from Barcelona today, right? 42 quid, and that's for non-restricted view. One of them was already, it was somebody else who'd wanted it, a Barcelona boy wanted it, a fan over here's a Barcelona fan, and someone else have actually gave the other one away because after the game a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was a good idea to get it and go myself. I initially was going to go with my wee boy, and then this boy was desperate, and I says, "Oh, well, I'll get my wee boy a ticket in the Celtic end, and then I'll just go here." But now somebody else more deserving of gave this ticket away. I've got another one here that I'm giving this one away, and then I've got 2 for the Celtic, but my wee lassie's taking one, and I've got another one, and I think I'm giving that one away. So if anybody's out there who wants to be kind-hearted like myself and help me get into the game since I'm helping others get in. In fact, I'm wanting another 2 tickets, but they're not even for me, because I'm more than prepared to double up with my wee lassie if needs be, because I'm fucked if I'm giving any more money to corporate Celtic after all the money I've forked out for this game alone. But if anybody's got a few tickets, a couple of tickets, it's not even for me. It's for another couple of people who are very deserving of it. But anyway, it's just a thought. But yeah, on here, listen, crack on, speak, and shut me up. Speak.
That's what you usually say to Ogilvy, isn't it? No, as I say, just the whole infringement yesterday, the police, and they basically just stood blatantly with video cameras filming all the Celtic fans. You know, during the game. So, at the end of the day, Tommy, you don't go to the cinema, you don't go to the opera, you don't go to the theatre, and the stewards stood with cameras. You know, I think we've got to look at the sport that, you know, it's an actual form, it's part of the entertainment industry, isn't it?
True.
You know, we never had, in London when the Olympics were on, when there was probably a red terror alert, you know, and we never had guys walking about with camcorders filming everybody's face, you know.
And why do you think this extra criminalisation, and I say extra because it's always been there, but why do you think this extra criminalisation of Celtic fans in particular?
No, I think at the end of the day, Tommy, if they don't arrest people, if they're not arresting people, you don't need them. You know, it's like if we stopped eating sugar, you wouldn't have as many dentists. You know, so as I say, I think that they've got. Obviously, there's going to be the one Scottish Police Force service now, and all the rivalries will probably still be a underbelly sort of thing. You know, so I'm not saying we're the best support in the world, but we're relatively well behaved. But I don't think that even at Celtic Park or at other grounds, when they go abroad, they're embraced by the rest of Europe. But when we go anywhere else in Scotland, and you know, I mean,
that's interesting. I never thought of it like that.
I mean, that's just my personal view. You know, we're embraced and that there's areas set up and stuff. You know, I mean, obviously, like Barcelona being a prime example. You know, and I'm not saying there's probably stuff goes on that isn't reported, sort of thing. But you know, if you look at it, we travelled up yesterday. We were in a 28-seater minibus coach thing. We were stopped maybe 30 miles outside the Dundee to look for. I mean, we travelled up at. We were up at that area at 10:30 in the morning, and we were pulled over. It's not as if it was 12:30 and we were screeching up. And they come on just to take our details and stuff, and then we got to the ground. And I mean, within the ground itself, it was very heavily policed, etc. You know, and is this part of the folly of it because of the football policing bill? I mean, are they causing this strict draconian system so that if you don't have as many police officers, the football tickets will be cheaper?
Well, do you know what I was thinking there is the self-interest there of the police and keeping their budget high. Now, we always know that the end of the financial year comes in April and the councils roll out the extra works to keep their budget. Now, what if this miraculous saving of expenditure from the police, from the Old Firm games, that we used to have these lovely things that used to be called Old Firm games, right, that will be no longer. But these games have dried up. So the bloodbath, the casualties, the courtrooms. Now, at the time, nobody ever spoke at the point when we were told about the Armageddon. But some people, myself included, I remember talking about it to another good brother, spoke about how wonderful and joyous it would be, and how much of a less of a strain and a burden it would be for the National Health Service, that when there's no more of these games, right, then there'll be less bloodletting, there'll be less problems in the street. So the jails are probably at this point a wee bit less empty because there's not been a one of these Old Firm games. There's not been one of these games to fill the jail cells. There's not been a Rangers defeat to rise the numbers of women's getting battered all over the place. So the consequences are massive. The savings are massive, right? But for savings to be massive, then you need to cut the police numbers. For savings to be massive, the police can't be doing all the overtime. So look at all the amounts of overtime that have been cancelled for all the police with all these games no happening anymore, 4 a year at least, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. So that's a huge burden to the taxpayer that's been saved. So much of an Armageddon, but we're saving a fortune and people's lives have been saved. But you're right, but the police could be looking on the basis of, we're going to lose once the figures come out. So what they might be trying to do, as you suggested, keep the figures up, massage them, jail people for trivial offences, but try to pump them up for more things. But just keep the numbers as high, jail people for a small offence that last year they wouldn't have done anything about, but this year you're going to get a criminal record because these numbers need to be kept high, because fucking hell, why should the police have to face austerity measures? Why should their overtime have to be cut? And that's the bottom line for them, the way they'll be looking at it. What's your point, caller?
Well, in the context, though, Tommy, I think we've got to be looking at the higher echelons of the police service, because I'm a family member who's a serving officer, and he's
Well, that's it. See you later. Hang up now, Chiro. I don't want to talk to you. Bye bye. Why did you not tell me this years ago, buddy? Come on,
I'm a plan.
Carry on, bro. Sorry, bro. You go.
No, he's basically saying he's one of the last police officers who got the you're in for your 22 years sort of thing. How the police services are doing it now, I think it's a 5-year roaming contract. Your contract will be assessed every 5 years. So, from his point of view, I mean, he's a Monday to Friday guy, but when one of those late beloved Glasgow derbies was on, he was basically told his weekend was cancelled. And that was it, and he never had a choice. So, I mean, as you say, it's the police officers who, in my opinion, who are like balancing the books, and you're looking at it's bragging rights, Tommy, because at the end of the day, Strathclyde Police is probably the biggest server in Scotland, not per area, but probably by population, whereas your Highland Police have got a bigger area with less people, and then you obviously Edinburgh's the capital city of the country. So, they'll be looking for the bragging rights, but we're the capital, we should be holding all the headquarters sort of thing, I believe Edinburgh's got the latest purpose-built headquarters, so you'd be looking at Glasgow, who were looking at the Strathclyde Police, were projecting themselves, looking into, moving into the east coast, the east end of Glasgow, down by the Clyde and Kilmarnock, they had a bit of land fixated for it, so I don't know if that properly will go ahead. But no, I mean, it's like anything, everybody's going to have a just, you can't tell me that the nurses love the AAD in Glasgow Royal are they happy there's no more Glasgow derbies. I know, certainly, when the Chief Constable of Glasgow came in, I'm told these two big things were going to be, he wanted a cut in domestic violence, which is always good, and his other thing was he was cracking down on the football-related stuff.
Well, he's got that massively, but the problem would be, when he gets it too massively, i.e., the people realise that, well, these police, will cut back on them even more so. I mean, many conspiracy theorists out there would suggest that last year's riots in London were helped perpetrated by the fact that the police kind of stood down, and didn't do anything at the initial point. Whereas if they came in hard at the initial protest on the first night in Tottenham, and instead of allowing the people to take liberties, the message would have been sent out. But when everybody saw the polls were taking a back seat, either because of the lack of resources or just, well, I would have put it down to they just couldn't be asked, and they wanted it to happen. So these things are allowed to happen, and in a Freemasonic cabal, especially when they've got the press and the media and the to keep it as a conspiracy, to keep it as covered up, so that it's just crackpots who talk about it and can be labelled as crackpots. When all we're trying to do is point out the fact that, how can Jimmy Savile get away for 40 years without being challenged? How can members of the Tory government, where's the names been given out? Why aren't we just giving the name of these bastards or whatever they've done in the Tory government? I mean,
I know. I've seen Newsnight had the two people or men, whatever they are. They've got the two names, and they were basically, I think, firstly, whoever it was wanted to put a block on an injunction and wasn't able to. But Newsnight were told by their lawyer team, if these two people were named before criminal charges were actually pressed, it would jeopardise the court case.
Right.
So, in that sense, whether or not that's true, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the cleverest, but, I can see it in that sense. But, yeah, I mean, I think probably what's been happening in the UK the last 100 years, Tommy, as you say, is like the echelons of power sort of would get on with what they were doing. But now with internet and stuff like that, you can tweet, you can Facebook, you can make your opinion. Like a guy like yourself, you can do a wee radio show you probably couldn't do 10 years ago. You would probably phone up Jimmy Sanderson in the old days. You'd have 3 minutes on the radio, and that would be you. But you've got you've got somebody like David Icke on Twitter. It's fascinating. Some of the stuff that guy pulls up, especially the stuff about what's happening in the Middle East and stuff like that. And it's all official documentation that he finds and tweets out. So you've got certain people out there who's pushing it out. But I definitely think. I wouldn't blacken MD's name until it's basically she's got enough on her plate, and she'll probably rot in hell, hopefully, for what she's done in the past, Thatcher. But I think maybe they were hoping that she would be dead before a lot of this stuff that's going to come out comes out. Because you've probably seen the same names are floating about the internet. I mean, you better not mention any names, but if she's still alive when these names come out, it's very embarrassing. For the thing that really gets me is that if you look at a time in British society when in the late 70s, early 80s, with the problems over the water in Ireland, when all ministerial people had police protection units. So where are you saying now, if these alleged incidents happened with minors and whoever it was, if these people had a police escort, what were the police doing when this was going on,
Exactly. Yeah. Can I ask you your take on tonight's events vis-a-vis idiots firing rockets in the air? Guy Fawkes, what's your take on what happened back then? What's your view in history? What have you got on it, Stevie?
Well, basically, I was very, very lucky. I didn't go to the best school, but I had very social aware teachers, and I think we never had Wikipedia 30 years ago, Tommy, and all that. So we're probably about the same age. We grew up collecting Bonnywood, and then you'd maybe get to a certain age and you'd be sweared by an older, cleverer guy. But you can Google now, and for what Guy Fawkes is and what he was, if you're a wee bit socially aware, if you're a wee bit left of the field, I've never touched a firework in my life. I was always scared of them as a kid anyway, but when I got old enough, I didn't do anything tonight, and it's a bedackle fireworks and stuff for kids, and for me, it's always it's an effigy of burning things, which is always used by the clan over the water on Ireland sort of thing for their 12th of July stuff and that, which is fair enough, they can do what they do, it's not my problem, but no, it's something I think it'd be quite interesting if you get the figures again for the National Health Service, how many kids go in tomorrow morning with sparkler burns and people getting hit with stuff, and if you've got a young family, if you've got pets or whatever, it's not the sort of thing you want to hear.
And I was the same as yourself, and my three veins are exactly the same as well. They've never been into it, and it's not even been a case of me saying to them that or they just don't really like it. It's just it's mind blowing how in this day and age it's actually allowed, and people are allowed to fucking stand out there and do that shit. But c'est la vie. It's just that it's a backward retrograde thing, burning at something, an effigy of someone or something that happened 400 years ago. And like you say, it's a throwback that what happens over the water. And I mean, it's just I just think it's just so backward. It's beyond belief, and it's dangerous, backward and dangerous. And then if you find out a wee bit about the history, I mean, that's the reason why I started this show, because I fired out a couple of twits, and all of a sudden my Twitter line just took a heavy pace, and it was just people were firing in all over the place. Some saying all good, and others going like that. Why are you bringing religion into it? And all I'd mentioned was his Catholic background. I says, look, he was burnt at the stake, but I was getting it confused because in my head I had Jack Demolay, the Masonic guy who was burnt at the stake by the Pope at the time after he came back. That's Jack Demolay from the Crusades, and for his heresy and his black magic and his devil worshipping and his paedophilia, whatever. They came back, from the Middle East and started peddling. I was getting confused with that crackpot, but apparently he never got. Well, he was captured on the 5th of November, supposedly, for all those years ago. But saying that, if it was just after the time or before the time of the switch of the Gregorian calendar, then the dates might not even be 100% correct. But anyway, c'est la vie. They celebrate something that I just find totally. I've always found bemusing and stupid, and new if you look at it, just anyway.
I think there's certain aspects of paganistic life in Britain which they embrace. I mean, I think they were trying to get rid this year of the Scottish tradition of cooking apples because it's dangerous. But it's dangerous to put your head in to get an apple out of the water, but you can launch fireworks and light humongous bonfires, so I don't know. Above my pay grade, mate. But no, as I say, everybody's welcome to their own opinion. I mean, it's something personally I don't celebrate or anything. I don't really see the point in it, pal,
No, if somebody wants to go out there and do it, then c'est la vie, whatever background that they're from. But it just, I don't know. It just seems it seems just a weird custom, and you know what I mean. I don't know. Guy Fawkes. Right. Guy Fawkes. What's your opinion on Guy Fawkes as a guy then?
Well, I mean, he sort. I mean, it has much changed. The government was corrupt. They were all at it, and he was going to sort it out. So, look, I don't know. He was one of these guys. He did what he did, and obviously he was betrayed, and he was tortured and executed and stuff. And there's various things. It's one of these things now. It's a tick in the box. I mean, for me, the only people I can think who can justify firing fireworks is Americans when they won the War of Independence over there. They mention it in their national anthem, so I think they're credited to use fireworks for stuff. But no, as I say, it's going to be. It's just to me, it's going to be very interesting the next couple of days and what the free fall is for the SFA over the whole employment. Because at the end of the day, tell me if me and you own a pub, and I think Scotland's been through eight managers now in 10 years.
As many as that.
So if we own a boozer and we keep employing the wrong guy, and the guy who worked for us, well, listen, he's keep getting hiring the wrong folk, what's going on? And basically, as I say, I know a lot of folk probably listening to your show turn their nose up if I mention Radio Shortbread, but it was a fantastic podcast. Well, it will come out as a podcast. How badly edited it will be, I'm not sure, but it was fantastic because George Pete delivered it, sour grapes, I don't know, but he was basically saying, and Trainer was firing bullets at him, saying, with this taking 3 weeks, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Trainer had, I think it suited Trainer's agenda to make sure the SFA were on the rope. And from my point of view, I don't know what's going to happen in the sense where if the SFA topple, what's going to happen in the sense where when the big tax case appeal obviously comes out in the main street and everybody knows what's happened, who's actually going to adjudicate what's been happening as the governing body in Scottish football,
Yeah, the next stage for internet ban pots is if it's a challenge, if we're up for it and to go for it, because it's there, the opportunity to call for this change, for to demand this change.
I've said to you, Tommy, I've said to you, I've had to phone you privately, the biggest, you can have Celtic, you could have the Rangers when they were alive, you can have various things, but you will not get a more intellectual, middle-class following than the Tartan Army. You know, it's reinvented itself in about steaming drunks who wrecked Wembley in the 70s. You know, there's a lot of guys pay a lot of money to follow Scotland, and in that broadcast tonight, they were basically saying, well, we couldn't really afford the monies to actually say, you know what, we'll keep Levine in charge. I mean, basically, Levine was told, and listen, I'm not a fan of Levine, but as a working-class guy, you don't like to see anybody as a socialistic point of view. At the end of the day, he was an employee and probably didn't deserve the way it was dragged out, you know. So whether or no, you can't tell me it's taken them 2 weeks of negotiating to negotiate the fact that, right, well, you're not doing your job anywhere, but you're getting paid to your end of your contract. And they were letting out, I don't know, I'd never do this. He'd come out and said already that he was going to walk away after this World Cup campaign.
I heard that.
So, you know, it's for me, they were basically saying, well, who are these 7 panellists who decide who he is? And they mentioned them all, and there's vice president. And I think it's for me, it's quite alarming how many chiefs we have in this country when it comes to football. If we had as many coaches as we did actually administrating, I think the game would be in a lot of better state. You know, there's too much, whether it's funny handshakes or whatever, but to have people, and it's no disrespect, I mean, I've got the greatest regard for junior football, Highland League football. At the end of the day, though, you know, you're talking about these guys do a part-time job, so are these guys getting full-time money, 25 grand a year, say, to sit on a board that probably for the last 120 years hadn't really had much to do until Fergus McCann got in at Celtic and started rattling a few cages and caused a few people to lose their jobs. You know, we're seeing how, you know, and he was a lovely, and fair play to the guy. I mentioned it when I was on the Home Boys. You get somebody like Campbell Ogilvie, who everybody says is a nice guy, you know, but at the end of the day, he's done what he's done, and if the financial irregularities come out, as you say, you know, what's going to happen to these people? You know, he's been involved with the actual national team affairs when he's under a bigger cloud than Craig Levein is for his misadventures, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. And
you know, if he was a court judge, Tommy, you know, if this was America, if he's a court judge and they think he's on the payroll for the mafia, that's, I mean, what they've just done to Levein, that's him saying, well, we know he might be a bit dodgy, but we'll let him do a murder trial. So that's it, mate, you know what I mean? But no, as I say, it should be. I mean, there's that obviously Celtic related thing. There's the Mass tomorrow night in St Mary's and the Carlton, and then there's obviously the Barca game in Wednesday night, mate. So, as I say, it's a good couple of days. I'm going to put the rest of the bank burner. It'll sort it out. But I think the problem the SFA's got now is that maybe in the past they've got, when it suited everybody for the govern area of town, that they were sort of, things were carrying on, but I think now there's the agenda that nobody likes the SFA, they're an easy target, and you can sell papers if you hammer them.
That's the bottom line for the kid-on journalists here anyway, to try and sell as much copy. That's what they're judged on from the thing with declining sales. It's about stopping the decline, I mean, as best they can, but
well, I believe the Daily Record's now doing a Celtic celebration of 125 years pull-out thing. You know, so if anything like fan buys that, you're after that. There's better stuff on Twitter, the boys will quite about Celtic. And there's the fact also that Trainer tonight was making it be known that although his paper, the Daily Record, approved the appointment of Craig Levein, he always had a few doubts about him. You know, and this guy basically, George Pete, your old pal, you phoned up, Pete was basically on saying that, when Levein got the job, you know, we sort of let him be known that you're not right all the time, Craig, you're going to have to take that on board. So, if they've got somebody like that, why did they give him the job in the first place, you know?
And I hold the distinction, right, of McCall ending up on the editing floor of Radio Clyde a way back. It was the day after the infamous game up in Dundee United, and Hugh Dallas was on explaining what had happened, and they cut his call. And for me, right, I hadn't seen the game because I worked night shift on a Saturday, and a lot of the time, like yesterday, I don't wake up until after 2, 3 o'clock, so I don't know the score, and I didn't see the game. So a lot of the events that week, or that game anyway, didn't really build up to later on that week when the assistant referee, if you remember, it was later on in the week, but at the start of the week, and on the Monday, I phoned through to Clyde, and it was just a standard call. But what had upped me, right, and the reason why I'm bringing it up, was what had upped me was that wee bastard Keevans, all soup taker as himself, had said the previous day or Saturday or Friday, and had said to the Scottish manager, the Scotland manager, and had told him, what was the phrase he used? I'm trying to remember the phrase. Be careful. He was like, watch it or shut it, or something like that. Shut it. And it was so condescending and patronising. And I went on there, and I mean, it's no for the love of Craig Levine. And as I say, it was the day after what had happened up at Tannadice, but having no seen the game and only going on the reports of what I'd read, I hadn't seen the game, so I wasn't going on there to comment, but I was going on there to take tasks with Keevans because of his attitude. And I was like, why have you got a beef against it? I was like, and I actually said, who? I was like, I know, I think it was, it was like, who does, I think his statement was, who is Mr. Levine? Who does Mr. Levine think he is? And so I was like, who do you think you are, Mr. Keevans? Who is you? Who are you, Mr. Keevans? Who are you? And as I said, it didn't make it through the cutting room floor. I pulled them up over it later on. But the more important one was the call that night by Hugh Dallas that he'd phoned in. And as I say, those dirty bastards there cut that fucking out also. I mean, so, but they've always had the knives out for Levine, especially that bastard trainer and Keevans. And well, obviously the paper they work for, that rag that they work for. So the agenda, whoever's got the agenda, those two have certainly shared it. And that's over 2 years since that infamous game up in Tannadice. And as I say, it was just the attitude of the wee bastard. And he's always been like that, you know. And so
I mean, the thing is, Tommy, I mean, he's never forgiven Celtic for, I mean, obviously. When he was editor of the Sky, said to you, the sports editor of the Scotsman, he was basically told, you better find out who the next Celtic manager is. And he bluffed it was going to be Arthur George, and when the Tim walked out, and that cost him his job, so he went for a highbrow broadsheet publication to the rag he's writing it now. But I mean, the other thing is, as I said to you, I mean, I think I sent you a direct message on Twitter earlier about it. Once again, Radio Scotland extend their sports programme. You know, I mean, my intentions tonight were listening to Sports Sound from 6 o'clock to 7, quick cup of tea, straight into the homeboys at 7:30, and then obviously, and you'll still get a few folk on my timeline, I don't know why, but they're listening to Clyde, and alright, you might get it live, you might get one decent call out, a 50 or something, but as you say, that podcast is very heavily edited, so what, I mean, people are wanting good, honest news, you know, and if they guys can't portray it, I mean, if the Daily Record's going to, if the Daily Record and Radio Clyde vanish, I'm not particularly bothered. I mean, my favourite radio station, I sit on my phone, there's a heavy rock, well, no heavy rock, middle of the road rock station for Key West in Florida. I worked there once, fell in love with this wee radio station. I can listen to it now on my phone, Tommy. So the fact now when this 4G technology comes out, or if you're sitting in your taxi or whatever you're doing, your helicopter or your hovercraft out patrolling the streets, you can tune into any radio station you want, mate. You know, and I don't think the people at Clyde grasp this, and the people for the Daily Record grasp it. They've been so self-tunnelled. They had one issue, protect and preserve one football team that suddenly has died last year. Now it's totally gone. They're too set in their ways now in how they propagate their information. They can't do a U-turn because all the money's tied up in supporting what they did. So you know, it's no great loss to me, but as you say, but they've just got to be starved off, Tommy, because if you phone Clyde up, mate, people's got to tune in.
I know, and it puts the thing way out there that the more people, I know, it's just best not giving them the what they crave for. I mean, what they crave for is people to phone in, is people to interact with them, is people to go on and say and dialogue with them and try to give them it tight. You know what I mean? So
How could they charge? How could? And I know BBC Scotland's and listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Scotland. I probably come off across as one, but um, how can BBC Scotland do a panel live like show in St Johnstone Stadium, and it's got various guys there, Spence, Tom English, and they're doing a live show, but the Radio Clyde do the same thing, and they're charging £28 at the Thistle Hotel. You know, I mean, people, if you're daft enough to listen to Hugh Keevins, you telling me, listen, I've seen some shite live. I mean, I've seen Timmy Mallet live, Tommy, for God's sake, you know what I mean? You're trying to tell me you're going to pay £28 to see Hugh Keevins about stuff that you've got to email the question in the day before, and he's got a prepared answer, that he's got one of his wee office lackeys to prepare the answer.
or it's oh, sorry, you're forgetting it's a pie and a pint.
So as I say, I mean, as I say, and I'm very aware of the fact that I'm probably downbeating people's jobs, and there's probably no enough independent, localised radio station. But you've got community radio stations now. You've got Twitter to get your news off it, and you know, I mean, these radio stations, it's a set playlist. They're paid money by guys like Simon Cowell to pump their records. I mean, when's the last time you heard an FM radio station play a really good song?
You see, the money, right, that's pumped into the radio stations from the high hegians of the corporate world. I mean, these radio stations are owned by huge media companies, right? Huge media houses. I mean, Bauer Media, and that's for a reason. It's a reason. It's there to control what the agenda is. I mean, so what music and what has to be sold, or what message has to be put across in that. So that's why the playlists are invented. So there's a certain type of song that's been played. So there's an agenda, there's a propaganda, there's a message, and they're paying huge amounts of money. And when they realise, right, that the huge amounts of money that they're putting in can be put on in a better way, it's just the tipping point is going to come very, very soon, because the point of throwing good money away after bad, the huge multinational corporations will stop doing that at some point in the near future, and that will mean that the money that they pay to DJs or people to work in this industry will just disappear, because the alternatives that other people have got to listen, people will just be able to press a button and all their collection of music is stored in a device, iPod or whatever, and it's on their dashboard in the car, and at the same time, the same wee dial or whatever phone mechanism can be hooked up to the radio, and an internet radio station like myself which already can be listened to live anywhere in the world at all, in any kind of device going out live. So you imagine in the future, 10 years time, there is no space for that message. So the multimedia corporations will be in themselves just purchasing people outright to do it, instead of owning stations and purchasing DJs along with it. There'll just be people they'll own to get their message across. So it'll not be a radio station like we know just now. It'll be a presenter of, whatever, you just name a presenter. I don't want to name any names, but Timmy fucking Mallet. So Timmy Mallet 20 years ago, they'll sell him as a commodity and people will buy into it, and that'll be the radio of the future, because the current way is going bankrupt very soon.
Aye, but you look at an organisation like Nike and how maybe 10 years ago they invested basically a 20-year investment in a guy like Tiger Woods. You know, who ticked all the boxes. He was a black sportsman, a black athlete, best in the world at what he did, and obviously your Tiger, God love him, had a meltdown. You know, and now they've just, I think it's a $350 million contract they've given to Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
You know, so Nike will go down it that way, but as I said to you before, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody that works at the station and whatever they do, but you get a station like Clyde, and they've built this little bubble technology environment where they've got their DJs saying, oh yeah, we're having this great club night, and we'll phone in and get VIP tickets, and they're making, Glasgow's just a cash and carry version in London or New York, Tommy, innit? You know, it's got they've got one good nightclub at a time where the celebs and the football players go to. I mean, it used to be Victoria's figures and all that, you know, but they've got old, I've got a very, 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 very good source, and they basically told me when a certain company came up to Glasgow to buy the Savoy, you know, when they come up, they made an offer for the Savoy, and it was laughed at. The guy went, oh, it'll cost you X amount to buy the Savoy. And the guy said, well, what I'll do is I'll buy a club round the corner. And they bought another club in Glasgow, and they pumped a lot of money into it. And it failed. And they basically had to buy the Savoy at the price the guys wanted. You know, because the Savoy, God love it, is one of the few places in Glasgow that's never changed. You know, and it's one, I don't get me wrong, it's not the easiest place. I mean, I was a Clary Pats commando in my day, you know, and that's been bastardised into whatever it is now. But as you see these Radio Clay people, and it's all, oh, I'm at this awards. I mean, how many awards ceremonies in Glasgow do we have? You know, and you see with the product placement and stuff like that. But no, as I say, mate, I mean, it's a really good week. It's a really good week if you're a Celtic fan.
That's wonderful. So you're going to the chapel tomorrow then for this too? Tomorrow, this beautiful.
Supposedly, Tommy, it's going to be a tremendous lineup. You know, but there's no cameras or phones allowed. There's hopefully, we were talking about it in the homeboys earlier. I phoned in to talk to the lads that there's no cameras, there's no phones, but there'll be people there in a professional status, and it's going to be available on Celtic TV, and pictures will be available on the website and all that, mate. So yeah, I mean, it should be a fantastic evening, and then it's a meal at the stadium after it. But it's good because the money goes to Mary's Meals, Tommy, and they were saying, the lads were talking tonight, the fact that Barcelona's got £530 million worth of net. You know, and the fact that, I mean, 125 years ago, no, right, I mean, we're not exactly the best loved product in Scotland for who we are and what we are and whatever. We may have our own element in the crowd, but, you know, we were set up to feed Waynes, and 125 years later, God willing, we're still doing it. We probably know to the extent we should be, but, you know, it's a lads for the Celtic Graves website, and these guys do it off their own back, you know, and I mean, we're mutual friend Deco over in Canada. I mean, they contacted Deco, and he actually found the late great John Thompson's fiance's grave in Toronto.
Aye.
And basically that lady had worked for the British government in Bletchley Park during the war and done various things. So, as I say, in a time everybody, Celtic fans of a certain age, want to remember guys like Henrik Larsson and stuff like that. But I mean, I was lucky, I went to the Mr. McGrory service a few weeks ago with Paul Larkin, Green and White writer, and you know, they're talking about a guy like Jimmy McGrory who walked to training every day from the Garden Guard to Barrafield to basically save threepence on his tram fare. You know, whereas I mean, I don't know about you, Tommy, you're more a metropolitan man than me with your lifestyle, but I mean, the amount of professional football players, especially Celtic players who you see in Nando's now, they should have feathers coming out their arse. You know, it's a bit of light training. It's a bit of light training and away they go, mate. But no, as I say, I said in the show, I mean, I'm more excited, believe it or not, about tomorrow night than I am the game on Wednesday. I'm not really. The game is the game. If we get a turn off Barcelona, fantastic.
Is there still tickets on sale tomorrow, do you know?
I'm not sure, mate, to be honest. As I say, if you drop them a quick email, it may be worth doing, mate. You know, I mean, I'm sure they'll be up to the wee hours tonight getting stuff ready.
Right, okay. That's for anybody out there who's wanting to do it, to get in there and get into going along. So it's going to be on Celtic TV as well tomorrow, live?
I'm not sure if it'll be on the TV live. I know it's going to be broadcasted sometime. Yeah. So, but I'm told it's a fantastic line-up in that, mate. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, you know. And then the King deal sweet to something. You never know, well, Mr. Lawwell will make the on the spam sandwiches to us or whatever we're going to get, you know. But no, as I say, pal, apart from that, it's all quiet. I'm just going to go and, is this your only show tonight, or are you doing one later on?
No, that'll be me, mate, that'll be me.
Right, well, as I say, mate, I'm going to rock and roll the new, pal, but
God bless, mate.
Fantastic talk, Miss Scam. We'll see if you last longer in your job than Ogilvy does.
God bless.
Alright, pal. Keep the faith, mate. I'll talk to speak to you soon.
Yeah, well, bye-bye.
Ta-da, pal.
Well, that's a bold parrot. A mainstay of the circuit of the Celtic internet Bampot crew. Phone-in podcast element. Yeah, he's a fundamentalist left-wing element of the Celtic podcast community. And then we'll come back to maybe a more sociable hours tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow night, 5:30, St Mary's Chapel. Yeah. Stephen said something there regards Celtic should be doing more as a club. Yeah, possibly. But some of the work that some of the fans do for charity and for good causes, for Celtic fans, it really does bring a tear to the eye for the amount of people doing so many good stuff in the name of Celtic. The good people doing the Kabira Celts at the turn of the year, raising money. The amount of people who, with Celtic in their hearts, have went out to other parts of the world to help others less fortunate, with the ethos of Brother Walfrid and the founding fathers, to help others less fortunate than themselves. That ethos has allowed Celtic Park to be called paradise, the holy ground, more than just a football club. What do those words mean, more than a football club? Well, a community, a family, people who care for each other because we're cut from the same cloth. We've had to live in a country that at times has despised us, that at times when they put their effigies on the bonfire, many times they wish it could be a live Catholic that they put on top. Many times it probably has been. Maybe not in bonfire night I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. The KKK in America, burning people alive in their houses. So for what? The community, the Irish Catholic community, the Irish community who came over to Glasgow to settle from the hunger, the enforced hunger of the British Empire on Ireland, while there was people starving to death. Britain was exporting cattle and foodstuffs out of Ireland while people were starving to death. It wasn't a famine, it was a hunger orchestrated and controlled from Whitehall mandarins to the Prime Minister, to the royalty, to the whole establishment. The blight of the potato was in Holland and in Germany, in Belgium. The blight of the potato came from potatoes from the United States of America, and these countries didn't suffer anywhere near as bad as the effects that happened in Ireland. Why was that? If the potato blight affected Holland, France, Belgium, Germany, and such places because it was exported from the United States of America, why did these countries not suffer the deaths? Yeah, sure, people suffered in these lands, but the effects were lessened by proper measures that the governments of these countries put on it and helped alleviate the situation. The same measures didn't happen in Ireland. Ireland was starved to death. 1 million people were starved to death for the British totalitarian jackboot rule, the butcher's apron, Cromwell's men from hundreds of years previously. That spirit lived on of treating Ireland and Irish people as subhuman creatures. And that history, that exists to this day when people walk about saying, go home, the famine's over, with hatred in their hearts, with bile, with anger against Fenians, against people who are others, who are people who are dared to be different because they were born, as if anybody can help where they're born. Oh, but this is something to be really proud of, this is something to be happy, this is something to be glory and triumphant about and force it down the other throats of other people. That we are Protestant, that we are British, that we are Rangers, we are the people, you sick, degenerate people. Can't you see? You're not the people, you're sick, degenerate fucking animals. Your arrogant attitude has caused your club to die. Your bigotry that knows no bounds has caused your club to die. You sitting there waiting to be spoon-fed from a mysterious benefactor who would always come in and help feed you, nurse feed you. There, little Billy, it's all right. Daddy's going to come home and sort out these bad little Fenians. These little Fenian bastards were horrible to you in kindergarten, were they, Billy? Oh, don't worry, your dad'll be home and kick fuck out all their front teeth when he gets home. Aye, the messiah of Big Billy Boots is always there in the background to come in and kick fuck out the Fenians. Until the Fenians got strong, and then we can become the un-Fenian hand that helped crush the Rangers into oblivion this very year. Yes, it took many years to get strong, many years of oppression, many years of bigotry to a minority whose only crime was to be different, to dare to say, we want to be Catholic, we don't want to take the soup and be forced to repent our religion, we don't want to recant our faith and say no to what we believe in. No, the people stood strong and firm in their beliefs. Brother Walfred, Mr. Davitt, the people, the forefathers of our club who held a brave vision to help others less fortunate. So yes, the club can be accused of not holding on properly to its roots or not doing enough. I'm not here to put that case at all. I'm here to highlight the beautifulness of the Celtic family, where if someone comes on to the huddle board and probably other message boards, but I do only say it from only experience and seeing it, if someone mentions suicide or they're having bad thoughts, other people weigh in, try to help the person come to terms with whatever problem they perceive as so bad that they want to kill themselves. I've seen it with my own eyes. Celtic fans want to step in and help fellow Celtic fans if there's a problem. Just small little things, and each and every one of us has to always remember the greater good of the community, the greater good of the family, but to have a little bit of forbearance, to have a bit of patience, a bit of, things might not always be good. We're not Rangers when it comes to a football game. We don't deserve to win every game. We're not entitled. We don't have this sense of entitlement that everything should be given to us. It's all ours, it's our country, it's our world. We colonised it. Britain never, never shall be slaves. Give us it, mammy. Leave us alone. The bad Fenians are getting better and stronger and controlling everything. Sort them out someday. Beat them up, sort them out. They're only Fenians. This attitude has led to the demise of Rangers. But what exists now, its legacy, is a throwback to hundreds of years ago. It's not Britishness, it's Rangersism. Rangersism. We've got a Rangerism just now where these people believe in a bankrupt ideology that they are the people and they are superior to others. And we know this is false, but they'll hold on to it forevermore, ad infinitum, sadly. But we have to do our best to try and enlighten those who are amongst them who are willing to be enlightened. And we must, as a family, as a community, look to see those who are enlightened in the Rangers family, who want to help take them kicking and screaming from over 300 years ago of history, bring them to today's brave new world, where they can be called Sevco FC, where they can welcome the challenge of getting out of the third division, and they can hopefully do it in a proper way, where they can pay their taxes. Taxes to the British government, to the old Queen. I mean, they don't do irony over at IPOC's way, do they? Or they don't see it, or they don't understand it. The love of their country, Queen and country. Yet you're owner of a club of 20 years where you sang his praises and were happy to take every trophy that he paraded in front of your gullible heads. You never once questioned him or said, where's all this money from? 20 million NTL, 20 million Dave Lewis, 20 million Dave King. Where was all the money gone? Why does all the silver be sold? Why did the car park be sold off? Why did the catering? All these questions, why did you not ask them properly? If only you got out and found out what was going on, Billy Boys, you could have saved your club instead of being told from afar, from bloggers, Celtic bloggers, podcasters, telling you what was happening. But you didn't believe us and your club died. Died that horrible, miserable existence. Spluttered along for the best part of this year. Washed the dirty linen in public from murray to white to green. Thank you, I think, from the bottom of my heart. I'll say it from me and any other Celtic fans who have enjoyed this jelly and ice cream spectacular. Thank you, deeply, truly, from the bottom of my heart, Rangers, Sevco, Green, White, Murray, et al., Rangers fans, Billy Big Time, Billy Noel. The big house must stay open. Every little last fucking one, every single little moment. It has been a pleasure, it's been a joy to see, to behold, to take part in, for me to phone people that I've phoned, to listen to other people, to laugh. Tears of joy have streamed down my face that I've never knew laughter like it in my life. Thank you, Rangers. We love you. RIP 1872 2012. And as I go, let's leave this moment on a nice, happy point, as it is just now anyway, thinking of the demise, the long, slow, painful demise of Rangers. It always brings a smile, but to further that smile, let's finish it off in thanks and memory to the brave fighting men from 1888, from 1887, who sat in a chapel in rooms in Glasgow's East End, conspiring with their bold Fenian hands, conspiring to help their brothers and sisters less fortunate than themselves. They did well, they did us proud. They left a legacy that each and every one of us can add to in our own unique way. as human beings. Each and every one of us has got a part to play in this vast tapestry as Celtic fans. I've only been here for 40 of these 125 years. Standing in the old Celtic and the new Celtic sitting. Going to Seville, Milan, Barcelona, Pittodrie, Bayview, Tannadice, Old Trafford, all these places. Watching the goals from Hartson, Dalglish, Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy McGrory, Henrik Larsson, Billy McNeil, goals that were scored prior to I was born. I can see them in my mind's eye through the wonderful medium of TV and video. Moments from yesteryear, seeing the 7-1 victory against the old Rangers at Hampden in the sun. The goal scored against Jordy Niven of Rangers. Players that I've never seen play, but by God I wish I was there that day when we beat them 7-1. And that day in Seville, 67. And then tied with it, as always, the sadness, the bittersweetness of being a Celtic fan. The thing that makes it good for me is you never know what you're going to get. Seville. Sad, you bet. So sad it was unbelievable. What a death had happened, and death that I had experienced in my family just a few years previously. Felt as bad as that. Joy and elation, what I'd felt previously with my children being born the years previously. Yeah, joy at actually seeing my team there, proud to be part of seeing 60,000 in one stadium in a place millions, thousands of miles away, or 1,000 miles away, or whatever it was. And to mix that in, and to have that roller coaster of a night, for me that was just the ultimate experience as a Celtic fan. That many others try to quantify and put in and explain it, and I don't know if I'm doing it justice just now, but for me that one night, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, the joy and the despair of being a Celtic fan in one moment, in one night, in 1 second. That was in Seville for me. That's what made it special. So win, lose or draw, we lost that night, but for me I will be remembered better than cups, wins, trophies. I can remember so much about it. I can see it almost like one of the moments that stands out and I'll never ever forget from Seville. I went out to get a drink, having got on the ground about an hour and a half before it. The place was half full, it was just mob, and there was a queue that you'd never seen before for the drinks. And I thought, there's no way I'm getting a drink there at all. I'll be dead before I can get to the front there. They'll be ran out of drinks. So I looked and I thought, keep ahead of the game, think ahead here. The Porto ends only get a wee bit of fans. Ergo, there's going to be less a queue, more chance to get in there quicker. And so I volleyed through the security bit, which was quite easy to do, into the Porto end, grabbed myself some drinks, passed it through to my wee cousin who was sitting beside. I'd actually get back to the seats about an hour after departing there. There was people trying to sit in at the seats, he was pushing them away. Finally just get back just as the teams were coming out and took the game in there. But a sight that will live with me forever was after I passed them the drinks over the wee fence bit. I stood there with a drink because it was roasting, sweltering. And I looked down and I thought, my God, look at this. And only the wee small corner, wee small bit in the behind the goal, And I stood in amongst them and I looked around the stadium. Wow. And I must have been in a trance just looking at it, because I kept walking down, kept walking down the stairs, getting closer and closer to the front of the portal. I'm stood there in my yellow top, the yellow top that we had that year, and a pair of 3/4 length shorts, I think, or a pair of sandals, sweltering from the day's heat. Boy, it was that hot that day. But just seeing all the green looking back at me, the green, white and gold. It was just a sea of green. A sea of green, that even if you, oh, it was beautiful. It was Celtic Park transported all those miles away in the sun and the heat in a European final. And I was looking at from the portal end, and God, for just the sheer size of the Celtic following and the amount of people we had in that stadium. Ah, I nearly never get back to my seat, because when I try to get back through, the the wee guy in the security guard wasn't for allowing it. I had to run down to the stairs, and I finally juked through somebody who was there, the security, and I managed to get in, and that was me as took my seat. Sadly, we lost. But our entitlement isn't to go into a game expecting to win at all costs. Our entitlement is just taking part. Our victory isn't lifting a trophy. Our victory isn't lifting a cup or a league. Our victory is being here and taking part and doing the best we can. Doing it with honour, with dignity, not fake dignity, real proper dignity. Doing it in the memory of the people who set us up, always in the background, always in the knowledge that there's others less fortunate. And should we see it along our travels as a Celtic family, we should seek to alleviate the burden. That's what makes us great and different from everyone. That's the bottom line. And that's Tommy in Glasgow. Over and out. Crackpot Radio. Sorry for being overly sentimental and talking away. And it's a good night from him and a good night from me. And God bless every Celtic fan out there, past, present and future. 125 years. I've saw 40. So it's 85 I missed. And God willing, if anybody listens to this in 40 years, or 100 years, 125 years, we're just custodians of time and history. In this time, Celtic fans of the future, we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it like you would never believe, with the jelly and ice cream. If you know your history, we've seen it. We came, we saw, and we've seen the Rangers get killed by their own hubris, by their own greed, by their own arrogance. We saw them wither on the vine, the painful withering of their own demise that they brought upon themselves, chasing the dream of what Big Jock knew. He knew how to win the European Cup in Walt Disney, and he never did. And nobody in Rangers knew how to win the big cup. Minty boys, you failed, and you killed the Rangers. Ah, ah, ah. Right, good night, God bless. And I'm going to find a wee tune here to play out. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thank you very much for taking the time out to join me, and I do apologise to the homeboys for starting the show when they were on. If I'd known, I wouldn't have done it. I might only do a show for an hour. I've ended up doing an hour and 40 minutes nearly. Right, so until the next time, until I do a show and reconvene here, we all use crackpots. Keep it real, increase the peace, fight the power. And yeah, that's the bottom line. Increase the peace, fight the power. Don't believe the hype of the mainstream media. They're all basically liars, most of them. And God bless Celtic, 125, and many more to come. And Visca Celtic, Visca Brother Wilfred. Long live the Hoops.